For Cult of War, we have Oki in a Dominix, Daddy Massive in an Absolution, Palx in an Ishtar, and Solovesh in Retribution. So, I mean, James, we were kind of surprised that Cult of War really didn't switch. They switched up a little bit here, but really, I don't think they've done enough to try to take on this IAC team.
Well, I think what they're trying to do, they've obviously tried to switch up for a lot more damage than they had in the previous fight. Their last fight was the Sunny Subic, and the Sunny Subic being a team with a fairly high damage output from the Eos, Dominix, and Ishtar. So they used the Damnation to get the benefit of all three armor resistance mods, I would assume. And now they've switched the Damnation for an Absolution, presumably to just get that extra bit of damage. Perhaps they're not anticipating as high a damage output from the IAC team. Probably anticipating that their ships will be able to hold their own tanks.
And here comes the drone swarm from IAC. It looks like it's being placed right on that Retribution.
Yeah, it looks like the Retribution and the Maulus are going to go down about the same time. Orvis Dren and the Maulus for IAC is gone.
Wow, and the Ishtar
First blood.
Ishtar for Cult of War providing support to that Retribution in some cap transfer, and it looks like I thought I saw some. Yeah, I definitely saw that. The remote armor rep there as well. Holding him on pretty good too.
Yeah, holding him on very nicely. Of course, most of the damage for the IAC team is coming solely from Tyrax's Absolution. We can see they're just trying to take out the second Maulus for IAC now. Cult of War holding their team together strongly. I'm wondering how the Nos Domi of Uki is going to compare to the Nos of Power.
Well, you know the Domi best. That Impact, it's not really very often that we get to see it in action, and we've got to see it, that's 4, 5, 6 times now.
Yeah, almost.
No, that's right, the
Imp-Geddon,
that's right, the Imp-Geddon in the final
we've seen
fight.
most of the Imp ships come out for this team.
Wow, looks like Cow's going to get that second kill on 7, and there he goes. There goes the Maulus, second
4
kill
versus 3. Cult of War holding on to all their ships thus far. Next target appears to be what has proven to be a fairly weak link in IAC's team, being the curse of NT Rabbit. He's died.
That's right, but he always seems to go out at a time where it's really not all that critical. Well, it's not all that critical for IAC, and then it comes down to Raim and Tyrax and the Absolution and the Impact.
Yeah,
and they just seem to hold it off for the rest of the time. But as you said, the only damage dealer amongst those two, amongst Tyrax and Raim, is in fact Tyrax and the Absolution.
Yeah, I mean, Raim, of course. The Impact, I think, can field a full set of heavies. I can't remember exactly what its drone bay is, but it can certainly get a little bit of damage from drones to help out the Absolution, but most of that damage is going to be the Absolution. NT Rabbit going down to about 60% armor. It's actually vanishing rather quickly. Maybe we'll see a bit of a rep up from Raim in the Impact.
Yeah, he's also webbed, and I'm trying to see. They're really close in together here. I don't know if they're going cap transfer back and forth.
Looks like NT Rabbit is actually cap transferring to the Impact.
And I see a rep there too. Didn't see the direction that it came from. It's all like a blurry mess here, but it looks like it's coming from Raim.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's definitely coming from the Impact to the Curse, because the Impact's not taking any damage. Yeah. It would be very silly of them to be remote repping the Impact at this point in time. But NT Rabbit down below half armor at the moment. Not too much trouble at all on the Cult of War team. They're all still, I mean, the Retribution's been taking a fair bit of damage. Bit of fire coming onto the Ishtar now. The Ishtar is just being fired upon. I'm just trying to work out whether that's drones or whether that is the Absolution. The Ishtar is... Looks like the Ishtar is taking fire from Tyrax's Absolution. I can see the laser fire going in on that Ishtar now. So Tyrax switching targets, and NT Rabbit is gone. The curse for IAC is gone. 2 versus 4. We've seen this a few times though.
We have.
The IAC often come down to these 2 ships.
It really does, and then these 2 hang on. But it looks like Cult of War focusing all their fire on the Absolution now. Probably a smart move. I'm just not so sure that they're going to be able to take out, if it does come down to it, take out the Impact. But as you said, the only damage dealer here is Tyrax. So if they get rid of him, where does this put?
Well, I think it might actually be very difficult to get rid of Tyrax. Tyrax has a lot higher hit points than the Curse, and I think higher resists. So It's a little bit of a hard one because T-Rex with the remote reps from the Impoc, I think T-Rex will last a very long time. I mean, he does set that thing up to tank as well as do damage. You can see the Ishtar for Cult of War down at about half armor, still holding on. So he's obviously taking some help from the Dominics and maybe from the Absolution as well.
But still, if Cult of War can hang on to this for the entire match, which I'm
that's a
pretty
points
sure
victory.
That is a points victory.
Cult of
and
War on a
IAC,
points victory
that
at
could
the
be
moment.
a huge disappointment for IAC, although I don't see it happening since we're only about 5 minutes into the match now, so that gives us another 10 minutes to go.
From this point on, neither team is able to just straight up out damage the other team's tank. I don't think we're going to see that.
No.
So I think the war, as I see it in this fight now, comes down to the cap of Uki's Dominics and Rem Sivri's Impoc. And the Impoc, as we know, is a cap monster. So I'd wager that he's probably a little bit better off for cap at this point in time.
Uki looks like he's pulling cap from T-Rex.
Yeah, just looking at it at the moment, though, T-Rex down to nearly half armor, so may well be the Impoc on its own soon.
I mean, I'm kind of surprised here. I thought his tank would hold up a little bit longer. Yeah, he's just sitting under half now.
Only 5 minutes into this fight too, so there's another 10 minutes to go by the
plenty of time. Oh, the Ishtar for Cult of War, sort of just under half armor. Nope, comes right back up again.
This is really a race between this Ishtar and T-Rex, because if the Ishtar goes, there's going to be a lot less damage on T-Rex, and T-Rex should be able to tank it then. But if T-Rex goes, IAC has completely, lost pretty much all damage output. And if that's the case,
well, that
then
Retribution
the
is getting a lot of help from that Ishtar as well, but they seem to be hanging on to it pretty tightly. I'm really impressed with how Cult of War have hung on to this. I saw it just coming into it. I really thought that this would be easy pickings for IAC, and then it would come down to a lot of people
thought that they'd be easy pickings for the Sunny Subic as well, which they quite obviously weren't. I thought early on in their fight with Sunny Subic that Sunny Subic seemed to have it in the bag when they were firing on Uki's Dominics. But he was able to just keep tanking and eventually they killed off all of the Sunny Subic team.
Wow, look at that. What a mess. It's just an absolute
mess. Fest.
NOS and cab transfers and drones and just everything going on here. And it's all happening within the span of about 2 years. Well, it's coming down to it. I mean, this tank they've got going on that Ishtar is really good. Do you think IAC should be switching targets right now? Maybe trying for the Absolution instead, or maybe even the Dominics for that matter?
I think with the ships that Cult of War have, the only one they could really switch onto and probably surprise before Cult could change their remote reps over is the Retribution. The Absolution and the Ishtar, I think, have enough hit points to not be surprised by that sort of quick switching tactic of changing targets and trying to disrupt that remote rep pattern.
So tell us, being the Dominics pilot that you are you surprised to see the Dominics being used as much as any other battleship in the game, especially in the finals? As
it is in price on Tranquility, the Dominics is excellent bang for buck compared to the other battleships. But in the tournament setting, where price really is not supposed to be an issue, it is still a cheap battleship because it only costs 9 points.
So what do you think? Are we going to see a cost increase in the Dominics?
Well, I don't think we'll see a increase in the Dominics, but it's just one of those excellent value tier 1 battleships. I think that just the way this tournament has panned out, we can see now T-Rex is just getting into structure. So
and we still have at least a good probably about 7-8 minutes to go in this fight. And
T-Rex is gone. Impoc versus Dominics, Absolution, Ishtar, Retribution.
Can they do it? I'm very doubtful.
Just how well this Impoc can go on its own. My heart is in my mouth at the moment. This ship is really on the line now.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't think T-Rex is gonna, or Rame, sorry, is going to come into this and come into this with, what would he just be flying?
Oh, there's got his head in his hands there. Oh my God, another unique ship on the line.
I think over months to just, he wants to see more of these seated.
I think he just wants to see an explosion.
He wants to see it explode. I mean, we like to see that. This much ISK going down all at once. I mean, everybody is even as you see on the picture in the studio, people are just going nuts in there.
Ooh,
They're just
armor
waiting
is
to see it.
vanishing very, very fast.
This is this really happening here?
Oh my
Or
god!
is he just maybe he's just hasn't turned his reps
playing
on
with them?
yet? I know.
Is he lag? Has he turned his reps off? What is happening? But the Impoc
Is he
down
out of
to,
cap,
what,
possibly?
like 60% armor. Oki says in local 15 billion and we'll stop.
No, okay, 15 billion and we'll stop.
15
they are
billion
ransoming
and
it.
we will
Cult
stop.
of War is ransoming the Impoc.
Waiting
the
for a
Impoc.
response from the IAC team. The Impoc is below half armor. The ransom demand is 15 billion, and I would wager that 15 billion is well below
Do you
what
really
that
do you
ship
think
is worth.
Tyrax is out of cap right now, or is this just more for the drama?
Well, it's not actually Tyrax flying that ship. It's Rain
Tyrax.
flying
I'm
that
sorry.
ship.
Tyrax
I mean,
actually
it's
owns the
Tyrax's
ship.
but
It actually owns the ship, so that's why I keep
I'm
equating it
surprised
to
that Raim hasn't run off with it. To be honest, Raim replying in local, don't have it. So I think we might be seeing a very expensive explosion at this point.
We're going to see.
We're only
the
10
Impoc
minutes into the
explode.
match, so his structure will have to last 5 minutes.
And we'll have to see how long he hangs on. So do you think it was the case of the NOS here in this situation? Is that what's really making the difference? I mean, we really thought that he would be able to hold up to all this firepower that's being dealt out by the Dominics, the Absolution,
to be honest,
and the Ishtar.
I really thought that he would. His armor not vanishing quite so quickly at this point now. I don't know whether he's injected, what's happened, but 25% armor.
Yeah. I didn't think I would be commentating this match. I did not think I would be commentating the match
God.
where the Impoc is going to be almost dying. But we're still sitting waiting for the end of this match here. We still have about another 4 or 5 minutes to go before the end of it. Lamont still hasn't called the end or any kind of time just yet, but I'm sure we'll be hearing that shortly.
I wonder if Tyrax and Raim are frantically trying to open up all their contacts in game and gather together 15 billion.
They must have. So they must have 15 billion. Maybe they can give them an outpost. Take the outpost, the IC outpost.
Well,
I think that's
an option. Cult of War. Would
now,
you
how
like
do you trade
an outpost?
that? Now, how do you trade that over? That's the key thing.
Well, you have to go on trust, but then of course.
No, you can't go on trust with these kinds of things.
Well,
it's on the spot.
Yeah,
it's going to happen.
But for the 15 billion, they would have to go on trust as well. They'd have to hand over 15 billion and hope that Cult of War just didn't go ahead and blow them up anyway, as with all ransoms.
Well, it looks like this ship's going to go. I mean, we're still waiting to hear
Structure
what kind of time
damage
we're
on the
dealing with.
Impoc now.
Yeah,
The
starting.
time in game is 20:57. The match started at 20:45, so still 3 minutes by my calculations to go.
If you're just tuning in, this is the epic match, the final match in the quarterfinals. This is IAC versus Cult of War.
This
Cult
is one
of War.
of 2 unique Imperial Issue Apocalypses in game, and you can see now flames starting to come from its hull as it succumbs to the damage of the Cult of War team. Raim Sivri frantically offering in local 2.5 bill. Laughs from the studio
These guys,
at that. Oki saying, no, not happening.
No, I think that kill mail. How much would that kill mail be worth?
Oh, it's priceless. It's a priceless ship. It's a priceless kill mail, and it's at 20% structure.
20% structure. We're just waiting for it. 14.9 bill is the next offer by Solovej.
And there goes the Impoc. Gone! Boom! Hull shot!
And that is a boom hull shot.
Oh my God!
The studio is going nuts.
Everyone is just
I'm sure
absolutely flabbergasted here.
I'm sure that everybody's going nuts, but
Wow. Oh my God. I don't know what to say.
I'm just not.
I am completely speechless.
I
mean,
really did not think that we would see this happen. This means that Cult of War moving into the semifinals versus the Ronin. We did not expect anything like this to happen. So that's the 2 teams. We got Nebula, Rasa, and Bob, and Ronin, and Ronin with Cult of War beating IAC and killing.
I want to see Cult of War take on Bob. I didn't think that a Nos Domi could take out the Impoc, but I was wrong.
Neither did
I
I.
want to see this Nos Domi go up against their Balgorn.
I am absolutely.
I guess
speechless.
the only thing that I could say at this point is Domi for the win.
Well, I think if anything pushes the dummy price up, I think that's going to be it. So that is the match versus IAC. IAC versus Cult of War. IAC losing an expensive piece of hardware, the Impoc, on the left-hand side of your screen with absolutely nothing left. But Cult of War on the right-hand side, not losing a damn thing.
Tirax Thork saying in local, Cult of War, go on and win this tourney, please, now. Good game. Tirax, I mean, hats off to the man. He is fielding a unique ship. He knows he's risking it, and, that has been called by Uki and the band